Banger after banger.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is official. Keith Lee has dyed his hair back to black. He's not gray anymore. So it's official. Online bullying works. I highly encourage it. Go ahead and try it. I'm just playing. Please do not try online bullying. I do not condone or endorse online bullying. Please don't do it. But I go by the name of Big Hero Chris. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, leave me a thumbs up, ring the notification bell, hit me up on Twitter, TikTok, the community post, you already know the vibes. And this is your AEW Dynamite review. And a lot happened on the show. It was a lot going on off the backs of AEW Forbidden Door. And real quick, I gotta talk about Forbidden Door. Probably one of the best matches I've ever seen in Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega Part 2 in Toronto, Canada. Phenomenal match. The 10-man tag was also awesome, man. I love that match. But the main thing we gotta talk about is the fact that Bryan Danielson beat Okada with a broken arm. I mean, if that doesn't make him the best wrestler ever, I don't know what does. But that leads us to AEW Dynamite. And like I said, man, a lot happened. We opened up the show with Jon Moxley taking on Ishii. And I gotta say right now, I see why they call him the Stone Pitbull. Not because of any particular reason. It's mostly because when he walked to the ring, he just looked like a damn pit bull walking to the ring. Like the way he's built like a pit bull. So there's that. And the fact that you had Jon Moxley and this man wrestling, these two weren't really wrestling, they were fighting. They reminded me of two uncles at the barbecue just fighting. Like they just had one too many drinks and just didn't like the way each other looked, so they just started fighting. That's the vibe I got from Jon Moxley and Ishii. Speaking of the drunk uncle, you had Eddie Kingston run out, and he was just making sure that the Blackpool Combat Club didn't interfere in the Ishii match. He was kind of looking out, but he was also trying to get into Jon Moxley's head, because after the match, which Jon Moxley won with the combination of the curb stomp and the Death Rider, and then you had Eddie Kingston kind of like, listen, man, good for you, man, you did it on your own. And Jon Moxley wasn't trying to hear it. He was like, yo, get out of my face. And they were exchanging words. And this led to a backstage segment where Jon Moxley was talking with Renee. Eddie Kingston pulled up again, and they were getting each other's faces. Jon Moxley said, listen, whatever you and Claudio have going on, I don't have nothing to do with that BS. I don't care about the Chikara BS that took place 10 years ago. And Renee, she's fed up with Eddie Kingston too. She's like, listen, you gotta fix this. And this led to another segment at the end of the Elite taking on the Dark Order. Earlier in the night, you saw the Elite issuing the open challenge for a trios match, and then the Dark Order pulled up like, listen, we want to fight. And the Elite were kind of brushing them off, taking them as a joke, like, listen, if we can make this a 12-man tag if you want. And the Dark Order was like, nah, we want to fight you because we're tired of Hangman Adam Page, who is legit a horrible friend. Like, he dipped off on the Dark Order, left him once the Elite came back around, let him back in the crew. He wasn't answering no calls, no text messages, no nothing, no carrier pigeons, nothing. Hangman Page is a horrible friend. He's a nice guy, but he's a horrible friend. So this led to the trios match, and this was a whole lot of fun. You had John Silver going off. You had Evil Uno slapping the crap out of Hangman. The Young Bucks were going off. This was a really fun trios match. Eventually, the Elite won. And then after the match, you had the Blackpool Combat Club pull up again, and they started beating up the Elite. And as this was happening, you had the Dark Order watching on, and they didn't do nothing to help Hangman Adam Page. They just kind of left him for the BCC just to clap this man's cheeks. They were hitting in the you had Jon Moxley hitting Hangman in the face with a screwdriver. He was bleeding all over the place. The Dark Order didn't do anything to help, and he was kind of looking like, yo, bros, help me out, little bros. And they're like, nah, you're on your own, my homie, ex-homie, whatever. So after this happened, you had Eddie Kingston trying to come out and make the save, but the BCC beat him up too. And then after all this happened, you had Jon Moxley saying, listen, this is all fun. It's fun beating up the Elite, but This has to come to an end, and the only place it can come to an end is in Boston in Blood and Guts. So it's official. You have the Blackpool Combat Club and Takeshita taking on the Elite, and I'm assuming it's going to be Kenny and Hangman and the Young Bucks, and they need another guy. So is it going to be Ibushi? Is it going to be Okada? Only time's going to tell who the fifth man is going to be. As for the rest of the show, man, you had some interesting backstage shenanigans going on between Adam Cole and MJF. Now, they're in this blind tag eliminator, and they're starting to become my favorites to win the whole damn thing and beat FTR. I actually like the dynamic between Adam Cole and MJF. They're the odd couple. Adam Cole clearly hates MJF's guts. MJF's kind of oblivious. He's like, "Hey, what's up, buddy? How's it going?" He's like pretending to be Adam Cole's friend, but MJF secretly hates Adam Cole as well. And then there was another segment where you had Adam Cole talking to Roderick Strong, and then MJF came back around. He was like, "Hey, Adam, how's it going, buddy? Hey, generic white guy," referencing Roderick Strong. And that made me laugh so hard. That popped me so hard. So yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting to see where this whole blind eliminator tag team, whatever tournament they have going on, you have different dynamics. And another dynamic that I didn't see coming was involving Keith Lee, who was in a trios match with Orange Cassidy and Vikingo, taking on the Jericho Appreciation Society. And how this came across is the JAS, mainly Daniel Garcia, challenged Orange Cassidy to a match. And at first I was assuming that it was going to be a one-on-one match, but it was a trios match. So what Orange Cassidy had to do was he just had to pick two other dudes to team up with him. And how he did it was typical Orange Cassidy fashion. He looked at Keith and he was like, "Hey, you want to team with me?" And Keith was like, "Sure." And then he looked at Vikingo and he gave him a thumbs up. Vikingo gave him a thumbs up back. So there you go, your brand spanking new trio of Orange Cassidy, Vikingo, and Keith Lee. And I was looking at the combination of Keith Lee and Vikingo. I was like, yo, it would be pretty cool to see them tag in the tag team eliminator blindfold, you can't see me, whatever tournament. And I didn't get that. What we ended up getting was the pairing of Swerve and Our Glory. They're back together again. So it's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds. The trio of Orange Cassidy, Vikingo, and Keith Lee won the match. And I'm pretty sure it's going to lead to the one-on-one match between OC and Daniel Garcia. And like I said, you have the tag team match of Swerve and Our Glory. I forgot who it is they're taking on. I'm going to put a picture up and that'll be, who they're fighting. So there's that. Another thing that was kind of intriguing to me was the possibility of Omega Ospreay 3. Now, they showed footage of after the match with both Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay talking about the match and pretty much hyping up and saying, Kenny was saying, "Look, I'll be back." And then Will Ospreay said, "Listen, whenever you want to run it again, man, I know its place." Maybe he's talking about Wembley in England. Maybe they run it back one more time. Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay Part 3. That's definitely a possibility. So another thing that really entertained me, that really rocked my socks, that's kind of, I'm noticing on Twitter, it's kind of a little split between what happened in this segment. And the segment I'm talking about is the Jungle Boy promo, where he explains his actions, he addresses his enemies, he addresses his ops, and he gives his explanation as to why he did what he did. And it's the typical "you people" promo. First thing, Jungle Boy came out, he had Tarzan Boy playing, and Jungle Boy was like, nah, cut that stuff off, cut this bum ass music off. He said, "This is gonna be the last time you ever hear Tarzan Boy again." And I immediately like that, because if you're gonna change this man's gimmick, if you're gonna change this man's persona, you gotta get rid of the Tarzan Boy. I kind of wish they would do it with John Moxley as well, with Wild Thing. I like the fact that at Forbidden Door he came out with his New Japan theme. It gave him a different element, it gave him a different vibe, and they kind of went back to Wild Thing. So hopefully they change his theme. But as far as Jungle Boy goes, I feel like he did a good job on the mic. Cut a pretty solid promo. It was the typical heel turn you people promo where he was like, well, did I turn on Hook or did you people turn on me and blah blah blah. And he started talking trash about the FTW championship. He started talking trash about Hook's family, talking trash about Taz. He said that he's smashing the hottest woman in the game right now, talking about his real life girlfriend Anna Jay, talking about how he's making so much money, how he secured the bag. And of course he did that thing where it's like, man, if Hook was out here right now, I will snap the face off his face. And of course, you know, Hook's in the building, so he comes out. He's ready to beat up Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy takes off. I did not realize how fast this boy was. This man ran off like the Flash. Jungle Boy ran off on the plug twice. And Hook is just as fast as Jungle Boy. But Jungle Boy, he was getting it. He was running like Hook, like he owed Hook money. Ran off, dived in his SUV, took off. Jungle Boy, man, I'm seeing the potential, man. I'm gonna start calling him Jungle Man. He proved his point, got his point across. Him versus Hook is gonna be a pretty good match, I feel like. So we were supposed to have the opening match for the women. Well, no, not the opening match, but a first round match between Ruby Soho and Britt Baker. But Britt Baker wasn't cleared to compete. She's sick. Apparently she got whatever Adam Cole had. Adam Cole couldn't wrestle this past weekend on Forbidden Door because he was sick, and because they're in a relationship, whatever he had, he gave it to Britt Baker. So hope Britt Baker gets well soon. She'll be back next week to wrestle Ruby Soho. Ruby Soho wrestled a local talent. I didn't even catch her name. I didn't care. She kind of looked like a generic Paige or Saraya, whatever her name is. Ruby Soho beat her with the lockjaw. And then after the match, she cut a really good promo talking about how the last time the Ruby Soho and Britt Baker wrestled in the Owen tournament, she was a totally different Ruby Soho, but now she's even better because she's with the Outcast. She's ready to do some damage. She's ready to avenge her loss that she sustained last year. I mean, so yeah, man, pretty much setting up the rematch for the Owen tournament for next week for Ruby Soho. Overall, good promo. Outcast doing their typical thing, man. It was kind of making the best of what they had because, of course, Britt Baker's not there, so they just had to pivot and do something else. And for the most part, it was some entertaining stuff. We had a QTV segment. John Morrison, Hennigan, Nitro, Impact, Rampage, Dynamite, Collision, television showed up. He's with QTV now. He pulled up with QTV last week on Rampage in a segment with the Acclaim, so it is what it is. Hopefully John Morrison edges out Powerhouse Hobbs. Powerhouse Hobbs maybe does his own thing. You have John Morrison with QTV, and that can be a thing. Harley Cameron is hot. Next segment. Alright, so now it's time for the main event. We have the team of Sting and Darby Allin taking on Sammy Guevara and the Painmaker Chris Jericho. Now listen, the main event was entertaining. My whole thing is I don't give a damn about this whole Painmaker gimmick. Chris Jericho really tries his best, and like he puts his heart, his soul, his chest, his everything into this Painmaker gimmick. I don't care. I don't get it. He just comes out with a hat and the makeup and his spiky jacket. I don't care. Just be Chris Jericho, man. This dude has like 1,004 gimmicks. He has a patent for everything. He goes into the copyright office like every week with a new gimmick. The Osho, the Painmaker, like champion. And also, what are they doing with Sammy Guevara? Is he a heel or is he a face? Now, before the Ruby Soho match, he came out with the cue cards. I wasn't really paying attention. And then he comes out again with Chris Jericho. Sammy came out of the face tunnel, but he's still aligned with heel Chris Jericho. I don't know. But as far as the main event goes, it was a really fun match. Sting, you are 64 years old. There is absolutely no reason you should be diving off ladders through tables on Sammy Guevara. It's not worth it, Sting. I know you're on your last run. I know you said Showtime is coming to an end, but you don't want Showtime to come to an end before it's supposed to actually come to an end, bro. But like I said, this was a Texas Tornado match. Anything goes. You had ladders and tables and baseball bats and Chris Jericho and Sting were hitting each other with baseball bats. It was like something out of Star Wars. I'm gonna find a way to edit the whole Duel of the Fates theme into them doing that. It's gonna be hilarious. It's gonna be awesome. But Sting won. He made Chris Jericho tap out. So entertaining stuff. I don't know where this is leading. Oh, I remember who Swerve and Argore is facing now. I'm sorry, brain fart. But they're wrestling Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy. So yeah, there's that. But as far as Dynamite goes, man, it was a pretty fun show. I was thoroughly sports entertained, overall entertaining stuff, real graps. Gets the honorary W, entertaining stuff all around. But what did you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Of course, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. You guys take care. Be easy. I'm out. Peace.